Hi guys, I'm Tracy. Thank you for joining me today. So in today's video, I'm going to be revisiting the Sonia G Fusion brushes. I noticed, I think because they're in stock now, a lot of those videos I did earlier are being viewed a lot. So now that I've had them for, I would say like 6 or 7 months or so, I wanted to talk about them again and let you guys know what I've been using them for, how I've been using them, and what I think they're best at. So I'm going to start out with the largest and then work my way to the smaller concealer brushes. So the first one is the Jumbo Base, and I do use this one for foundation, and that's the only thing I've used this for. I know some of you have said that you like it for blending out concealer. I just prefer a smaller brush for that, so I've only used this for foundation, and it works out really well for me because of the shape. So if you want to get like close to your lash line, you want to get, you know, on the sides of your nose, this shape is really good for that, and it makes this brush very unique. I wouldn't say this is my #1 foundation brush choice. I do pick the Mizuho CMP510, which I've talked about previously, but I would say this is, you know, the top 2 or top 3 foundation brushes that I have. There is something that kind of prevents me from using this brush as much as I would like to, and that is because I have to wash it so much. And that's because it's for liquids and creams, and it's a nice brush and it's an expensive brush. So I feel like I have to kind of conserve it as opposed to the Mizuho, which is synthetic, and that brush is very solid. Like nothing comes out of that brush. So I feel like with that one, I can kind of use it however I want, wash it however I want. I don't have to be gentle. With the Fusion brushes, because there is natural hair and because they're just so exquisitely crafted, I just feel like I don't want to be washing them as much as I should. So that's the only thing that kind of prevents me from picking this up first, but it's a fabulous brush, and the density and the shape make it very good for foundation. Also, I like a heavy application of foundation. I have a lot of spots to cover up and discoloration, and I feel like this does allow you to really get that foundation on. If you like to buff your foundation on, I don't think this is good. This is really, I feel like, meant for padding and getting into crevices and really pressing your foundation on. So that is the Jumbo Base. The next largest one is the Classic Base, and I use this for cream contour, almost only cream contour and cream bronzer. It also works for cream blush, but I use another one for that. And this is an amazing brush. I would say though, if you have like the Mizuho CMP510, you know, I'm sorry, I can't find it, but I do think if you have a round like foundation brush, the Mizuho CMP510 is one. I'll link it down below. This is not really necessary because there are other brushes that look like this that perform similarly to this brush, but nonetheless I do use it a lot, and for my shape of face, it's really good at fitting into here and along the hairline and along here. So, you know, it's a great brush. I highly recommend this one. But I am going to now talk about the mini base, which I recommend even more because this is a unique size. Not a lot of brands make a brush this size for cream and liquid products. So I'll give you guys a close-up of the comparison. The Classic Base isn't that much bigger, if you can see there. So they're just like, yeah, mini is a mini version of the bigger one. But I highly recommend this because I don't have another one in my collection that compares to this brush, and I use this all the time, and it's really good. I'm going to show you guys at picking up kind of like drier cream blush products. For example, the Natasha Denona cream blush right here is kind of hard to pick up. So you need a pretty dense and firm brush, and this brush works really well for that formula. It also works really well with the Tower 28 cream blushes, the Nude Sticks cream blushes. Pretty much any kind of cream blush would work well with this brush. And I really like it with this particular formula. I am really enjoying the Natasha Denona cheek products, which I just recently discovered when I bought this. And I love both of these products. I just wanted to share that I got the, I just received this, I haven't even tried it, the Love Cheek Duo. It's brand new, so I didn't want to use it on camera, but I'm sure like this brush would work really well for this cream blush, and I cannot recommend this enough. And I would say, looking for one fusion brush, I do recommend this one. So that's the mini base. Just because it's so useful, and it's probably not something you already have in your collection. If you do, then you don't need that one, but there's nothing that I have that can compare to that brush. I have brushes that are kind of shaped like that, but with the density and the type of hairs, I don't have anything quite like that. Okay, the next one is the Jumbo Concealer, and this one I use probably the least of the different fusion brushes, but let me show you what it's really good at. It's really good if you like highlighting with like a light concealer. So I use it, like, for example, I'm going to do the B-roll. I used it to, because of the length, it's a long, you know, it's a pinch ferrule, so it's a long brush. It works well for getting into very specific areas. So I like to highlight, not highlight, but I like to put concealer like on the top of my nose if I want to spend extra time to kind of contour with concealer. And this is what I use for that, because the shape is perfect. It's very specific. And the density of this brush is a little bit more than the other concealer brush, the soft concealer. So if you're someone that really wants to concentrate the concealer, you know, where you need it, I think this one is a better choice. I just prefer a softer, slightly fluffier concealer brush because I mainly use concealer under the eyes. But this one is also really good if you have like these laugh lines like I do, and like the sides of your nose. If you want to conceal this area, this is like the perfect shape for that, because it really presses that concealer into areas where, you know, it might be a little bit darker, you're trying to like smooth out. So I do think this is a great brush. It's just compared to the other fusion brushes, this is the least used for me. But I would say, I meant to mention this in the beginning, I don't like buying full sets of brushes because there's always one that I'm like, I don't think I'm going to use it. So I really prefer to buy singles. This is the only line of brushes where I have all of them and I use all of them. So that's pretty impressive. And I'm going to start off talking about the soft concealer, which is probably top one, top two of the fusion brushes for me. In fact, I think this is also a very versatile brush. And in fact, I bought another one. It hasn't arrived yet because I really like this. On my previous fusion brush video, I talked about how it really gets the shimmer, like a light shimmer shadow on really well. But it's also really good for under eye concealing, which is what I use this for. And I wanted another one to apply sort of like those difficult to pick up shimmers or pressed glitter formulas. So I'm really excited to have one for eyeshadow and one for concealer, because I haven't been able to use this for eyeshadow because I'm using it for concealer. So I highly recommend this one. This is a surprisingly, this one really surprised me at how much I liked it, because if you look at it, it's like, oh, well, I have other ones like that. You know, I have the Chikuhodo T6. I have I was like, well, maybe I can even use the Detail Pro because it's just a little bigger than this. But there's something about the density and the shape of this that make it really good for under eye concealing. And it just makes your concealer look so much smoother. And it also, I conceal the whole eye area, and I also use it for the upper lid to kind of prime my eyes, and I love it for that. So that's the soft concealer. I don't like buying backups, but with that one I did buy a backup, so I highly recommend that one. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about regarding the Fusion brushes. And I'm also planning to do another kind of like a follow-up video about the other Sonia G buffing brushes, the Master Face and the Smooth Buffer and Buffer Pro. I'm also going to kind of blend in the Chikuhodo GSN2, which I think could kind of be compared to these, but I'm going to save that for another video. And it was a question from one of you guys. So if you guys have other questions, things you want me to demo, compare, you know, go over in depth, then please leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to fit those inquiries in for my next video. So that's really all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.